Time to talk to Tom Curran. He's brought to us by Dr. Matthew LaPrestia, Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Tommy Curran at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Tom is with us on the Harbor One hotline. Tom, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me, boys. How are you?
We're all right. Well, we're back into a game week once again. But as the sort of de facto second half of the season starts, Tommy, what's the objective for this team in the remaining 7 games of the regular season?
Maintain dignity, I think, and maintain culture. There's an immense amount of uncertainty, I think, that accompanies a season like this, that these coaches, the personnel department, the scouting department, all ancillary staff is probably experiencing right now. There's upheaval. And obviously on the field, that's the outgrowth of what the team is, I think, experiencing during the week. So if that one major performance can continue to have, or begin to have, encouraging results at least, and show that it's together, I think that can filter back. I mean, the season's lost. There's going to be significant change after the year. But how does the season unfold over the last month and a half? Because really, that's all there is left.
Yeah, and even when I hear you say maintain dignity, I'm like, man, that's harder to do than I think. You're leading on to, because maintaining dignity means beating Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants with a questionable quarterback situation. And I've said this. I still don't think we've hit the bottom. I don't think we've hit the bottom. I still think there's a couple more floors for this team to go. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I really think that the football product on the field will help direct that one way or the other. And the uncertainty at quarterback this week, we had Bill this morning. He said everybody has to be ready. I told the players they have to be ready, and I asked them, that's not answering the question as to whether or not you've made a decision. And he said, we'll see you on Sunday. They're going to have to tip their hand during practice. There's no way to divvy up first-team reps in a finite amount of practice time between what we suppose would be the 3 candidates, Greer, Jones, and Zappe. But if you're doing that throughout the week, who's ready to go? Because Zappe needs more reps if he's a starter than he has been getting, and so would Will Greer. So really, who's the decision between? Is it between Mac and Zappe? To me, to maintain dignity, believe it or not, I think the easiest way to do that would be to trot Mac Jones out there again. Because the disaster that could ensue.
Stop it. No.
The disaster that could ensue with a Zappe, Greer, or Malik Cunningham could really reflect a level of, it could turn into Keystone Cops out there, which it just hasn't been that. There have been bad losses, but the last 2 losses were disgusting at the end, and they were bad. Never mind.
I don't believe you. I refuse to believe under any circumstances that Mac Jones starts in this game. Keystone Cops or not.
We've been good, and Tommy, Christian and I have been going back and forth on this a little bit because we hear, like with Kayshon Boutte, putting together the practices, almost like, hey, you're earning your way onto the field, kid. I just look at Bailey Zappe and I think, how do you sell it to those guys other than, well, he's not Mac, so that's why we're putting him in there? It feels like landing on Mac is still the guy that gives you the best chance to win, does he not?
Yeah, that's the sales pitch. He's not Mac. It's not anyone that you're putting up there because you think that player gives you a chance to win. It's just that it's not Mac, which is an insane place to be before Thanksgiving.
Insane, but real, right?
Real because, again, it comes back to decisions made in the offseason. Brian Hoyer was jettisoned, and again, I'm not saying he was the end-all, be-all, but it was pretty apparent throughout training camp that the Patriots needed a veteran backup because Zappe was performing so poorly. And I said that after the last preseason game. And even after they released Zappe and Malik Cunningham and showcased them to the league and said, anybody want them? No? All right, we'll take them back. They clearly showed that they didn't think that they were ready to quarterback the team. And when Zappe has been out there, he's not performed in a way that gives you any kind of enthusiasm towards saying, okay, well, he's going to energize us. So to me, it goes back to the overarching personnel and decision-making that has landed the team in this spot.
Tommy Curran of NBC Sports Boston here with Gresh and Fourier. I know there have been various reports on the locker room being out on Mac Jones. If that is the case, Tommy, isn't it up to the coaches to try to figure that out in practice so that you're not putting someone out there that people don't believe in? Or is that maybe kind of pumped up a little bit in terms of sort of what is being said? Because to me, if guys are completely out on Mac, they're not going to respond to the guy in any way that is positive. And it would be easy to be able to figure out, where do you land on the whole locker room confidence level with Mac?
I bet that you, having played college football and on the offensive line, and Christian having played at receiver in the NFL, would probably be able to answer it better than me. My suspicion is that the selling point is you're still earning a paycheck, you're still putting reps on film, do your job. Are guys going to sit in the huddle and roll their eyes and go to their, position and carry out their assignment with less enthusiasm because it's Mac, as opposed to who? I mean, it's not like they're keeping down, Mahomes back there or some other backup who inspires a level of confidence. So, what do you guys think? Does it really? I mean, you do have to summon something within yourself when you're 2-8 before Thanksgiving and your team's going nowhere and you might have an expiring contract. I think, to say, well, what am I playing for? So that's I think a real thing. But do you guys think that impacts performance?
Do I think the quarterback? No, I don't think they go, I'm going to run a slower or drop this ball because I'm upset at Mac Jones. I don't think that happens, period. But I do think there is just like we just can't play him anymore, and that's all I put it to. Like, regardless, I don't believe anything that they're saying. I don't believe anything that they're saying, because on one hand, Tom, you got Bill O'Brien saying, "Oh, you got to earn it." All right, so you're declaring that this is a competition. You got to earn it. Bill says last week it's all about deserve, right? You got to deserve. You're going to deserve what you get, and now he's saying, "Well, you know what? We'll see what happens on Sunday." So on Sunday, when they go out and to do their practice, reps before the game starts, whoever takes the very first play, when they all come together as a team to do the offense versus defense, I guess you're assuming that's the starter, right?
Yeah, I imagine we'll correct.
Because they won't show you anything.
An indicator before that,
right? They won't show you. Well, but how? How would you get an indicator? No, they're not going to show you anything during practice.
I think Bill is very much in hold my beer mode, and he has been for several years. You don't think I'll do this? You don't think I'll draft 2 guards and 2 kickers and no tackles? I'll do that. You don't think I'll move on from Jacoby Myers? You don't think I'll put a defensive coordinator out there as my offensive coordinator? Watch this.
It seems like he's acting out. That's what it looks like to me. That's what my kids do. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it right now. It's like a hot stove moment, right? Yeah, now you've learned your lesson, but he hasn't. I don't know. I would love to take some side action on this with as far as who the only play is Mac's not going to start.
The only play is over on carries. Total carries.
On the running backs. No, there you're right, because there's the bets that Fourier has at FourierBet.com.
I'm not any good at it, though, by the way.
And then there are the ones that are really out there. Tommy, go ahead, Tom.
Listen to this. Get this, Gresh. If it's 3rd and 8 and they're handing off, that is a sign of no confidence.
Nah, very much so.
To me would indicate, okay, you're losing your dignity here. I mean, that to me, this performance, what you put on the field.
When we put a diaper on. When we finally put a diaper on, that's when I lose all my dignity. Like when I'm old enough and I cannot hold it in, that's me losing my dignity. So this is the Patriots offense putting a diaper on.
So we're almost at the depends portion of the Belichick career here in New England. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just going off of what Tom's saying, and I agree with you. 3rd and 8 run. Michigan, when they played against Penn State a couple weeks ago, they ran the ball on every single play in the second half, Tom. They said, screw their offense. They can't throw it. They can't do this. Their strength was running the football. They have 2 of the best backs in the nation, the best offensive line, but that's not the Patriots, though. So 3rd and 8 means gain of 4, bring out the punt team.
It's pretty crazy.
Hold my beer against Buffalo when they won 14-10. I mean, when they won 14-10, that was another hold my beer moment that worked out great in the wind at Buffalo.
So
you don't think we can run the ball all day? Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
So Tom, where are you right now on the Bill Belichick job security? Is there job security here for him? Do you think this is already going down the road of everybody having discussions behind the scenes as to what to happen next? I'm just curious as to where your temperature is on Bill maybe going somewhere else, getting traded, how it all sort of will play out over the next couple of weeks. And is there a way that both Bill and the Crafts, if it does heat up, is there a way they can keep it from becoming a distraction for this team this year?
I think that depends on Bill.
Interesting.
I really do. It depends on Bill because, team's 2-8. Robert Kraft is avoiding speaking at all to the media, at the owners' meetings, at any other opportunities, because there's no vote of confidence that can be given. And I think there is, as I've said before, an inevitability to a change at head coach. And does Bill sense that? And is he understanding of it? Or is he embittered at the notion that after all I've done, this is how it's going to end for me here? Okay, hold my beer. That it depends on Bill. How much dignity this season closes with depends on Bill. And I hope it closes without controversy and backbiting and backstabbing and, cloak and dagger negotiations with other teams about compensation. I really do. I lived through it in the late 90s, and it was no fun to cover.
Yeah, that will be the fascinating part of it. Who, if there is going to be big change, who starts talking about it? Because you got other owners and other markets and things like that, and it could really end up being fascinating. Tommy, it's interesting because the road I thought you were going to go down is, and we've been around long enough to know this, like when someone leaves the Red Sox, there would be the smear campaign. I hope we don't get any of that if there is a divorce at the end. Sadly, I think we will, but I hope it doesn't turn into the old, this manager got shipped out because all this was going on that we didn't report in the paper.
I think there's an inevitability to trying to find the black box and explain reasons why things were as bad as they were. So I think that is also inevitable, too. I mean, so why did it come to this? What was the reasoning behind the scenes with disappointments about draft picks or free agent spending or the Brady departure or, in the facility temperament or anything like that? I think that there will inevitably be, a further investigation because, Bill has cast a long shadow and caused people to holster opinions within the organization over a long period of time. But again, he deserves, I think, despite the decline over the last few years, to not be kicked in the ass on the way out the door by any stretch of the imagination. So I would hope that while we do that, there's also an understanding and appreciation that, yeah, he was tough to deal with and he was a pain in the ass, but he also knew what he was doing, and he made our football team and our Sundays and our falls and winters and summers really friggin' enjoyable because of a lot of the decisions that he made.
And a lot of times, people that are successful are pains in the ass. There goes our friend Tom Curran of NBC Sports Boston. Tommy, thank you, buddy. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next week, friend.
Thanks, buddy.
You too. See you guys.
There we go. There goes Tommy. Did you just have something play over
Yeah,
there?
it jumped up on a. So what are you? Leave me alone today.
What?
You've really been all over me today.
How have I?
Really
What are you
getting sick of
talking
you
about?
today.
I got on you for your awful Sam Hauser take yesterday, and everybody jumped on me thinking that I wasn't needling you.
The fact that people are like yelling at you for yelling at me about Sam Hauser is
God.
maybe a sign of worse things to come.
Good grief.
It is amazing. Sam Hauser would be the catalyst for anger and resentment and contempt in this city.
Who would have thunk it? And Coop, I don't like the over-the-shoulder shot there at all.
I know
that
why.
is not, no. I mean, I'm never on anything inappropriate on the company Wi-Fi.
Oh,
No, as I'm scrolling through a Twitter timeline, someone might retweet someone with some Hooters that I see as I'm scrolling, but it's not like I'm actively going out and looking
I
for.
do not like this view either.
You know.
Let me see if I can.
What?
hide all
No,
my
they
stuff.
can't tell.
I got to build my. Oh yeah, I got to get mine. Like, there we
you're
go.
Try
okay.
being filmed while you're trying to enjoy your lunch.
Well, that is true. What, do you feel like a circus animal in
No,
there because of it?
You know, like a little bit of privacy. I don't need a camera in here.
Well, you got all the lights
thing
in
there's
there
two.
now, so they can see your beautiful
Obnoxious.
face.